Just jump off. Okay. Good job. You made it.
We're Grant and Teresa Boggs, and this is our amazing adventure in Iceland. Over the next few episodes, we'll show you what it's really like to travel in Iceland these days, what to see, what to eat, and how to have an epic adventure. We're super excited because in this episode, we get to take you with us on our road trip around the South Coast and Golden Circle. No, not that Golden Circle, this Golden Circle. The Golden Circle is a world-famous scenic route in Iceland where every stop will literally make you feel like you're in Game of Thrones, but in a good way. Our journey starts in Reykjavik, Iceland's biggest city and capital.
Alright, so we just got picked up by Troll tour groups, and we're going to see the southern area of Iceland, the Golden Circles and Glacier hike, and we're happy to be inside because it was pretty cold out. I mean, it's probably 20 degrees with some wind chill, so it's nice to be warm and cozy again.
The first stop on our tour was pretty epic. It's where the North American and Eurasian continents meet. Our first stop of our tour is at Thingvellir National Park, and it is beautiful. There's a fresh blanket of snow everywhere, and it's just a gorgeous view. Take a look. What we loved about Thingvellir National Park is that it's such a great intro to Iceland. Even though it's not far from the city of Reykjavik, it really does feel like it's a whole nother world. You can walk up this observation deck, and for miles, all you can see is just the landscape. Ice, mountains, and the few trees that can survive these extreme conditions. And with that, we were headed to the most beautiful waterfall in Iceland, Gulfoss.
Alright, we're at the waterfall.
Gulfoss.
Yes, that one.
I'll spell it up.
We'll spell it out because we can't remember, but it's freezing and icy, and I'm crying my face off because of this wind. But this waterfall was incredible. Never seen anything like it. Stunning.
The third stop on our tour wasn't really planned, but it ended up being one of my favorites. Our driver saw a herd of Icelandic horses hanging out by the main road, so of course he pulls over for a spontaneous photo op. Icelandic horses are known for being very sweet and very friendly. They were definitely a fun distraction, but almost too fun.
Just saw the horses. Now I'm late to the bus.
Thankfully, the bus waited for us, and after saying goodbye to our new equine friends, we headed over to the famous Icelandic Geyser. And actually, there's two geysers. The Great Geyser is pretty inactive these days, the one that is famous, so the one that people see when they come here is usually the second geyser right next door. It's called Strokur, and that erupts every 5 to 10 minutes. One of the things I loved about our stop at the geyser was that it was also our lunch stop. There's a really nice cafeteria where we filled up on some sandwiches. If you're wondering how expensive food is in Iceland, these sandwiches were about $13 US. It's not cheap, but not outrageous. We're doing a separate video just on Icelandic food and drinks, so be sure to check that out on our channel. The geyser also had a nice gift shop, and I love me a gift shop. Our next stop after lunch nearly knocked me off my feet. Literally, it was extremely windy. We were at Seljalandsfoss, and it's a really beautiful waterfall, and you can come in the summertime and actually hike behind it. Well, we were here in the winter, so we can do that, but we'll definitely try that on our next trip back. And after a quick hike back to the bus, we were on to our next stop, which was another waterfall.
I'm here at Gluggafoss waterfall, and just driving through Iceland, there's so many waterfalls, hundreds of them really, and you just see the beautiful water flowing from these mountains down into the lowlands, and the water's just so crisp and clean, and this is just one of many, and so we figured we would stop by.
By the way, if you're the outdoorsy type and you like to camp, you can actually camp near the waterfall. I imagine it would be very cold in the winter, but you'll have a fantastic view to wake up to. If you can believe it, all of those stops that I just shared with you were just day one of our trip, with our most epic adventures of glacier hiking and ice caves still ahead of us. That's if I could survive a very potent bout of food poisoning.
So we're here at our hotel called Hvalsavir, and Teresa started to feel a little bit sick earlier today, and she's been champing it out for most of the afternoon, and when we got back to the hotel, she jumped into the bathroom and just waiting to find out how she's doing. How's it going in there?
You're not recording this, are you?
I am. It's content. So I think Teresa's still feeling sick, so we'll check back in later. Alright, so since Teresa's feeling kind of sick a little bit, I decided I was going to walk to the local store, just about 200 meters from the hotel, see if I can't find some local treats, some snacks, bring back and try to enjoy them later on. Alright, I found the discount store right next to the hotel. It's about 250, 300 meters, called Cronin. So I'm gonna go in there and see what kind of discounts I can find. I will say food here in the local restaurant is much cheaper than in all the tourist locations that we have been to by a lot. So if you come to Iceland, shop in your local stores, not at the major city hubs.
While Grant was out, I thankfully was able to nap and recover. And it was a good thing too, because we had a very early start the next morning. It's about 6:40 in the morning, and we are getting ready to pack our bags onto the bus and grab a little breakfast so that we're not on an empty stomach, and then we're going to head out to do our glacier hike today. I'm pretty excited. I'm a little bit worried too that I don't want to hold up the group, but we'll see. I hope I'm not the slowest. Before we embarked on our epic glacier hike, our first stop of the day actually ended up being my favorite waterfall in all of Iceland. It's called Skogafoss. For you Game of Thrones fans, this is where Jon Snow and Khaleesi rode their dragons together for the first time. It's a good date spot, right?
Okay, so we're here at Skogafoss waterfall, and it's snowing pretty heavy. Luckily it's not too cold and there's no one here, so I think we're gonna try to climb up those stairs and get to the top of the waterfall.
All right.
Good job. All right, so we made it to the top.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I feel tired. Definitely underestimated how hard that would be. I'm really glad we made it.
Yeah. Me too.
I mean, get a chance to see a waterfall from above.
And despite what my facial expression was saying, I meant it when I said it was worth the hike. One quick warning though, if you are planning to hike to the top, be prepared that the handrails are a mishmash of banister railings, chain links, and rope installed with no apparent rhyme or reason. Just hold on for dear life, whatever you can hold on to.
Good job, Teresa, you made it. It's so much less windy down here. Good job, Teresa, high five.
Even after the scary hike, Skogafoss is still my favorite waterfall. It's humongous, and I've never had a chance to get that close to a waterfall of that size. I could see how the King of the North and the Mother of Dragons would pick it as their first date spot. After Skogafoss, our next stop on the tour was one that I was really looking forward to, our glacier hike. When I signed up for it, I kind of expected it to be like snowshoeing. Flat, relaxed, dare I say easy. Once we got there though, I was a little worried that I was in way over my head.
Alright, so we have our gear ready to go. Our pickaxe.
And my spike shoes.
Equipped with our helmets, ice picks, and spiked shoes, we were off to explore one of the most beautiful glaciers in Iceland. We actually had to hike about 20 minutes from the parking lot to the glacier. Why was the parking lot so far? Well, it didn't used to be. 20 years ago, they built the parking lot right at the edge of the glacier. But the glacier has melted so much over the years that it retreated almost a mile. Once we finally got to the glacier, I realized it was unlike anything I'd ever seen. A beautiful mountain of snow, ice, and volcanic ash. It's so dangerous to explore that you're not even allowed to access the glacier without a certified guide. And that's for good reason. The glacier is always changing. Every morning, the guides check the glacier for any cracks or breaks where people might fall through.
It's pretty exciting. So our tour specialist is first in line to make sure that there's no crevasses. And we have to follow her footsteps exactly.
So, funny story, our tour group actually ran into a couple of ladies who were out on the glacier without a guide. And that's a huge no-no. Our guide had to give them a talking to and told them to head back to safety. So just keep that in mind if you visit the glaciers here. They're beautiful, but respect the rules for your own safety. You don't want to end up being an example of what not to do. And so, sticking with our apparent Game of Thrones theme, our next stop was the Black Sand Beach, another beautiful but potentially dangerous site.
Okay, so we're here at Reynisvara beach. It's a really famous beach here on the south coast of Iceland, and it's also a really treacherous beach. Unfortunately, a lot of people get swept away by these sneaker waves. So we'll be really careful and not turn our backs to the waves and try to survive it.
Yeah, I guess, people die here every year, so, it's definitely somewhere to be careful.
Yeah.
But let's go.
All right.
Fun fact, this beach was also a part of Game of Thrones filming.
And sure enough, while we were there, we did see a girl get too close to the water. A wave came and almost dragged her out to sea, but thankfully she was able to claw her way back. So, be careful out there. So we saw a glacier and a beach that day. But what happens when you combine the two? You get Diamond Beach.
Alright, so we're here at Diamond Beach. This is where there's a huge glacier behind us. We'll show you in a bit. But we're walking to the ocean right now to see if we can find some icebergs floating around.
After the beach, it started getting dark, so we headed to our hotel for some dinner and to see if we could spot the northern lights.
We just finished having dinner and we're back here in the room, resting a little bit, and then we're gonna go out with maybe one or two members of our tour group to go chase the northern lights. According to the forecast apps, I think we have about a 30% chance of seeing the northern lights tonight from where we are. I think that's gonna be our best chance, honestly, because this is the third night that we've been in Iceland. We haven't seen the northern lights yet, and tomorrow's our last night, so fingers crossed we'll get to see them tonight. Good morning. It is our fourth day here in Iceland, and we stayed up pretty late last night trying to see the northern lights, which we kind of did through our camera, so no regrets about that. And we have an early start again this morning, getting ready, packing all of our stuff, and then we're going to load up our stuff into the bus and grab some breakfast before we head out. And I think on the agenda today is seeing the ice cave, so we're pretty excited about that. We're on the bus to our ice caves, and it's pouring out. So we'll see. We have to hike to the caves and hopefully not get too drenched.
To get to the ice caves, we piled into a special van with huge rugged tires. We spent about 20 minutes driving through what felt like a field of boulders. It was a very bumpy ride. But once we got there, we were just eager to start our hike to the caves.
Okay. Alright, so we're on our way to the ice cave. It's in one of the largest glaciers here in Iceland, and the ice is actually going to be about 800 years old. So we're excited to see.
Yeah, we have our crampons and our helmets, so let's go.
Let's go.
If Skogafoss and the black sand beach made us feel like we were in Game of Thrones, the hike to the ice cave made us feel like we were in Lord of the Rings. The smooth turquoise walls looked like they were made of Venetian glass and not 800-year-old ice. It was incredible and looked almost mythical.
They say there's a creature that lives here. He is fearful of the sun, so he prefers to travel by night. They call him Smeagol.
We do have a flair for the dramatic, don't we? So we had our fun and it was time to go. Our guide said there were 2 exits, the easy way and the fun way. Guess which we picked?
How was it?
It was awesome. Definitely the fun way out.
Yeah. So what was your impression of the ice cave?
It's definitely a must-see here in Iceland, and I just recommend it to anyone who wants to come here to make sure to put it on their list and take that extra step to come here, because it's a little bit far from Reykjavik, but if you have the time to do it, definitely do it.
And that's a wrap on our Golden Circle South Coast episode. We hope you liked it. If you did, please like and subscribe and check out our other Iceland videos. It would mean a lot to us. And now, some bloopers.
So dinner is over. We had a nice dinner with our... I just felt coffee. I sneezed. Okay, take 2.
And this, my friends, is Skogafoss waterfall. And this, my friends, is Skogafoss waterfall. And this, my friends, is Skogafoss waterfall.